The $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill passes in the Senate. Goats teaching gardening, in a sense, at the Empire Market in Joplin. Several local fire departments coming together to get some valuable hands-on training. It's the second day of the Pope's historic visit to Iraq.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
After a grueling marathon voting process known as a vote-a-rama that lasted some 25 hours, the Senate has approved President Biden's $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Chris Warner. Now, although the package passed, there were changes, most notably on unemployment benefits. CBS News correspondent Michael George reports from New York.
The bill as amended is passed.
Lawmakers stood for a round of applause after the Senate passed President Biden's nearly $2 trillion COVID relief plan in a marathon session.
Today, I can say we've taken one more giant step forward in delivering on that promise that help was on the way. For over a year, the American people were told they were on their own. We've seen how hard that has been on so many Americans.
President Biden says he's not given up on Republican support, even though all GOP senators voted against the measure.
That's stuffed with non-COVID related spending that even top liberal economists say is wrong for the recovery.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer expects the American Rescue Plan, which includes stimulus payments of $1,400 for Americans making $75,000 or less, to pass the House in its current form.
Nobody said passing one of the largest, perhaps the most significant bill to help the poor and working people in decades was going to be easy, particularly with 50 votes. But it is done.
The legislation also extends enhanced unemployment benefits of $300 a week through early September. And there's money for schools, small businesses, state and local governments, coronavirus vaccines, and fighting child poverty. Lawmakers agreed to remove a $15 minimum wage hike provision. And after a standoff among Democrats Friday, efforts to raise temporary jobless benefits to $400 were dropped. Michael George, CBS News.
Next, the American Rescue Plan returns to the House, where it is expected to be passed a second time as early as Tuesday before President Biden signs it into law. Beautiful day outside, the sun shining like a bright golden nugget. Nick Kelly joins us.
And that did wonders to help us warm back up, Chris. At least near 60 degrees for much of us this afternoon. We are still sitting under mostly clear skies as our evening gets underway. But as I broaden the view out on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, our next storm system that's going to bring big changes for next week might try to bring some cloud cover out of Colorado our way tonight. But that's the worst that our sky conditions will get overnight. Maybe some cloud cover to start our Sunday out. In the meantime, though, temperatures look pretty good. Upper 50s to near 60 all across the board at the top of the 6 o'clock hour. Eventually, we'll fall back to the 50s, 40s. I think most of us will settle down to the upper 30s for tonight. I've got a few more nice and mild days to enjoy, or for everyone to enjoy, Chris, before we see plenty of rain chances lining up. We'll break down the week ahead here in just a bit.
All right, Nick, thank you. Well, some Boy Scouts took part in the regional tournament for the Mocan District's Pinewood Derby. The goal, to test the building skills of the Scouts to see if they could create a small wooden race car like the one you see there that could take home a big win. More importantly, it's an opportunity to get creative.
You know, I really hope that they express their creativity and have some fun. And then second of all, I hope that they really enjoy that time with their adult. It's a really great experience to spend time doing something that's not playing on a tablet, watching TV, right? It's another opportunity to kind of get to know somebody of a different age.
There were 6 races in total, and they were broadcast live on social media for those who couldn't attend in person. Well, earlier today, Joplin's Empire Market Community Gardens invited the public to a Goats in the Garden event. Now, the event organizer, Eric Osen, brought his own baby goats as a way to teach people about their community garden beds. Now, Osen says in the past he's had trouble gaining public interest, but the goats helped bring a crowd larger than he expected.
So I got a lot of people out here, and I kind of got to spread the word about what we're doing. And so, you know, like I said, sometimes you need that opportunity to make people stop and listen for a minute. And so I think the goats work pretty well for that.
Goats definitely an eye catcher. Well, later tonight, we'll have the full story on how Osen used his goats to get the community interested in gardening. Well, 5 Southeast Kansas fire departments came together not because of a fire, but for some important training. The training took place at the Osage Township Fire Department in McCune. It was grain rescue training, something that rural fire departments need to be trained on with the number of grain silos and possible incidents that could occur. Firefighters picked up some basics from instructors with the University of Kansas.
We show them the basics on how to get started. They've already got some of their own equipment, so we're showing them the proper way to use it and all the techniques that they need to know to be able to effectively rescue somebody.
Tonight at 10, we'll hear more on just how valuable this training is to the rural fire departments. And we take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Thomas Dalton served in the Navy from 1941 to 1945 and was in the Battle of Normandy, his hometown, Anderson. And we are proud to recognize Thomas Dalton, tonight's four-state hero. And of course, remember, to learn more about other heroes or nominate one of your own, all you need to do is head over to our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. And that's a look at our top stories and a quick check of the forecast on the KOAM News at 6. Still ahead, we're going to take a look at the big medical stories of this past week. And it's the second day of Pope Francis's historic visit to Iraq. A troubling side effect of a common sleep disorder, and more people across the globe are getting Johnson & Johnson's one-shot COVID-19 vaccine. Michael George has a look at some of the week's top health stories.
Canada has given the green light to Johnson & Johnson's single-dose coronavirus vaccine, nearly a week after it was formally approved in the U.S. President Biden says that by the end of May, the country will have enough coronavirus vaccine doses to immunize every adult in the country. That's at least 2 months ahead of schedule. Rising temperatures around the world may have a negative effect on multiple sclerosis patients. Researchers at Stanford looked at periods of unusually warm weather in the U.S. and found an uptick in emergency room visits among MS patients during those times. Heat sensitivity is a common symptom in MS. And researchers now believe sleep apnea is related to an increased risk of cognitive impairment and Alzheimer's disease. The study from the American Academy of Neurology examined patients with cognitive impairment and found more than half had obstructive sleep apnea. Those with the sleep disorder also tested lower on thinking and memory tests. Those are some of the week's top health stories. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Well, Pope Francis is on the second day of his momentous 4-day visit to Iraq. Iraqi security forces are deploying about 10,000 personnel to protect him as he embarks on his first international trip since the outbreak of the pandemic. CBS correspondent Chris Livesey is traveling with the Pope and reports on what has been an historic morning.
For the first time, Pope Francis and Iraq's senior Shia Muslim cleric, Grand Ayatollah Ali al-Sistani, joining behind closed doors over two faiths. In a landmark encounter at the Ayatollah's home in the holy city of Najaf, Francis thanked him and the Shiite community for raising its voice in defense of the persecuted, affirming the sacredness of human life, a Vatican statement said. After the Ayatollah, Francis traveled to meet with Iraqi members of each Abrahamic faith, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism.
The ancient city of Ur is said to be the birthplace of Abraham of the Old Testament. Today, it's the scene of a historic meeting with Pope Francis and members of 3 world religions that all call him their patriarch.
Hostility, extremism, and violence are not born of a religious heart, he said. They're betrayals of religion. Overcoming such betrayals is a key theme of Francis's visit to Iraq, the first of any pontiff, as he witnesses the country's minority Christian community, among the oldest on earth, dwindle amid decades of sectarian unrest. We are under threat of extinction, says a Christian woman, if we stay like this, with Christian families being displaced. If the Christians aren't protected, then immigration is the next step. Yesterday, on his first day in the country, Francis prayed inside a Baghdad church where jihadists massacred dozens of people in 2010. And tomorrow, he'll head north to Iraq's Christian heartland, where refugees once displaced by the Islamic State are now returning and preparing for the Pope. Francis will even visit the former ISIS stronghold of Mosul. Where once jihadists carried out wholesale slaughter and desecration, Pope Francis will soon pray.
Well, beautiful day across the 4 states. Will this lovely weather be sticking around? Well, make sure you stick around because Nick Kelly's up next with his full forecast.
Beautiful day no matter how you slice it and dice it. It's certainly improvement in temperatures compared to yesterday. Underneath the clouds and the scattered showers that we had at times during the day yesterday, we only saw temperatures during the afternoon hold in the lower 50s. But after we got past a cold start in the upper 20s this morning, nice to see highs back near 60 this afternoon. Thankfully, as we look ahead toward the week ready to unfold in front of us, I see us staying dry, partly to mostly sunny skies for Sunday and Monday, so we're looking good to wrap up the weekend tomorrow. I have temperatures staying mainly mild for much of next week, despite rain and thunderstorm chances eager to pick up and move back in as early as Tuesday and certainly as we head through the rest of the week. In the meantime, what do you say? Beautiful sky from our station's rooftop looking back toward Joplin. 58 at the airport in Joplin, southwest wind at 7. And the humidity, not too bad, sitting at 44%. Elsewhere around the region, we are at 60 in Iola, 63 in Fredonia. Those are the warmer temperatures we have on the board. Contrast that to 55 in Greenfield, 55 in Milnet, and 58 in Neosho. Everyone's looking okay, though, as far as the evening goes to start things out. But as soon as we get past sunset, we'll have temperatures fall through the 50s, 40s, and down to the upper 30s, even with a little bit of cloud cover that might try to sneak in tonight. I'll show you where that is as we widen the view of the Skywatch storm tracker. We had nothing to worry about today, just plenty of sunshine all day long. It's a cloud cover working across Colorado. If that can hold together, that'll work in here by the late overnight hours and certainly as we start tomorrow morning out. For the most part, though, we have high pressure in control, usually, and certainly the case today. That keeps us nice and quiet, and that south wind kept us mild as well. But we're watching that next cold front out to the west. That won't start working in until we get these pair of upper lows, one from the Gulf of Alaska and the other in northwestern parts of Canada. That's going to really start to change our weather up as soon as we hit the middle of the week ahead of us. In the meantime, though, must say mostly clear and not too bad to start the evening out. But again, during the overnight, I would not be surprised if some of that cloud cover out west tries to sneak in. But then again, if we go partly cloudy, that's the worst our sky conditions will go as we go through the overnight. And as far as temperatures go, yeah, we'll have to start cold, but at least upper 30s this time around instead of upper 20s like we saw this morning. And once we get into the afternoon, our partly sunny skies will start to go mostly sunny again. 60 by noon. I see Joplin topping out around 64 with the southwest wind at 5 to 15. Everybody, though, fair game to go back into the mid-60s as we wrap up our weekend tomorrow. Let's break down the rest of the week ahead of us. We're quiet Monday as we stay underneath that upper-level ridge. Then, as those pair of upper lows start to push that front our way, we could see this result in a few showers Tuesday, but we're seeing the better chances for rain and even thunderstorms really ramping up Wednesday, Thursday, and even as we head into next week. And in fact, if we break down our rain chances, again, maybe a few showers Tuesday, but then we're upping the coverage between 40 to 60% Wednesday, Thursday, and into the coming weekend. As far as how it could impact temperatures, well, we'll stay in the mid-60s tomorrow and Monday, 64 tomorrow, 65 on Monday. And even with the rain chances picking up, we're on the warm side of that front, so 66 Tuesday, upper 60s Wednesday and Thursday. Then we're going to have to start cooling back down, especially by next Saturday, Chris.
These are some good-looking temperatures, and it looks like I've got a couple more days to break out my commemorative sombrero with the sun shining.
I don't know. Can the sombrero work in the rain? Because you could probably wear it much of the week.
I'll give it a try, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Well, coming up in sports, Pitt State softball plays its first home game since 2019. Plus, Pittsburgh has a chance to advance to the state tournament in today's matchup against Spring Hill. Danny Terzer, she's got those highlights next.
The Pittsburgh Purple Dragons have a chance to move on to the 5A state tournament this afternoon. Pittsburgh hits the floor at home today against Spring Hill in the sub-state championship game. The Purple Dragons enter the day on an 8-game winning streak. Javon Grant dishes it off to Mason English in the corner. He drains the 3. Then, Grant going coast to coast for a nice layup. He drops 41 in the game. Cooper Jones now with a 3, but it's all Pittsburgh in this one. English now flips it over to Malachi Courtney for the put-in. Purple Dragons dominate. They beat Spring Hill 82-52. Tonight is also championship night at the 3A Sub-State Tournament in Riverton. On the girls' side, the top-seeded Frontenac Raiders face Girard, aiming to return to the state tournament. This is the third meeting of the season between the two teams. Girard won both in the regular season. Michaela Osmus in the corner, she drops 3. Then, it's Jada Valley dribbling. She puts down the stop and shoot 3. To the second, it's Hattie Pyle with the rebound. She draws the and 1. That's to tie the game. Sydney Franenbury, she comes away with the rebound here. She puts it up as time expires. Frontenac is going to the state tournament. They get the win, 45-29.
We looked at it as an enjoyable moment, so it was just fun to be part of this. We're the type of team this year that we just got to have fun, and they did it mentally locked in, and we're just glad to be, win this game, and we're looking forward to another chance.
On the boys' side, the Galena Bulldogs are trying to get back to the state tournament after making the Final Four last season. Galena up against Riverton in the Sub-State Championship. This one just finished up. Galena wins it 34-33. We'll have highlights from this one right here at 10. Today is a big day for Pitt State's softball team. The Gorillas host Minnesota Duluth in their home opener after 8 straight games on the road. This is Pitt State's first home game since April 2019 due to the pandemic. With a runner on, Kiana Bender homers out to right. Bats are hot early for the Bulldogs. To the third, Jordan Thomas, her second home run of the day. Minnesota Duluth takes a 4-1 lead. Katie Kakowski now, that's a 2-run home run. She'll put the Gorillas within 1, but Minnesota Duluth keeps the pressure going. They win this one 8-3. Pitt State baseball also at home today for a doubleheader against Northeastern State. Game 1, Peyton Ingalls goes 3 up, 3 down in the second. C.D. White at bat now in the fourth, singles up the middle. Here's Chaz Orr rounding third and scoring. That brings in 2 runs for the Riverhawks. Adam Thies has an answer though, and a big one, 3-run home run. That's going to tie the ball game, but Pitt State falls in Game 2 of the series 16-8. Game 2 is still going on right now. It's the top of the 5th. The Gorillas are down 3-0. Northeastern brought in a run in the first and then 2 more in the third. Missouri Southern also in action today with a doubleheader against Washburn. The Lions enter the day with a perfect 10-0 record. In Game 1, Missouri Southern is handed their first loss of the season. Washburn comes away with Game 1 5-3. Game 2 still going on. The Lions trailing by 1 with just 1 at-bat left to turn it around. That's a look at sports. We'll be back with more news after this.
Tonight on the KOAM News at 10, we'll learn how goats are helping people learn about gardening at the Joplin Empire Market. Plus, volunteer firefighters in Southeast Kansas are receiving some special training from KU. And some Boy Scouts putting their race car building skills to the test. Those stories and so much more tonight at 10. Nick Kelly joins us now with a quick check of that forecast.
We'll turn cold again tonight, Chris, but thanks to cloud cover, we'll only drop back into the upper 30s. We're back to 64 tomorrow, 65 Monday. Then we'll watch for rain chances eager to pick up by the middle of next week.
Still looking like a pretty decent forecast overall. It feels like spring is here to stay. Hopefully that'll be the case. Well, Nick, thank you so much. And that's our time for now. Our next news time is at 9 over on Fox 14. We'll see you back here at 10 on KOAM. Thanks for making us part of your night.